my champions, I welcome you all to score 360 out of 360 in NEET Biology within 250-day series. And yes, today we are going to start with reproductive health, a huge strap on our back because we completed human reproduction. And this is the topics that I chose, that is introduction to reproductive health and also contraceptive methods. Initially, I was thinking that I'll just do this portion because it gave lots and lots of questions. But then again, I thought since this is a small chapter, we can try to complete it all in 2 parts. Okay, that is my aim. So let's see, will it happen or not? And what did we study previously? Where is the previous slide? Come on. Okay. These are the things that we studied previously and all of them comes under human reproduction. Now children, if you want the PDF for the same, you can join our WhatsApp channel where you can get the PDF of whatever notes I have given, or basically my PPT, whatever you want, you will find it there. Going ahead, why did I choose this particular chapter? As I said, number of questions came from this chapter. Let's see how many and what was the pattern. So in the year 2021 it was 3, 22 it was 2, 23 again it was 3, 24 again it was 2. So this year probably it can be 3 or it can be 2 or it can be anything else as well. But can you afford to lose this particular chapter? Obviously no. Why? Because if you calculate 2 into 4, that is 4 is awarded as a marking for correct answers, right? So 2 into 4 gives you 8 marks. Can you afford to lose 8 marks? No. Similarly, 3 into 4, 12. Can you afford to lose 12 marks in the exam? Obviously no. So let's not take that risk at all. Going ahead, I will, as I said, I'll just give you a gist about things. So introduction, you might have seen the NCERT, right? You should be having NCERT with you right now when I'm talking. So it is just distorted into too many things. It is a big headache to sum it up. So I thought I'll sum it up for you. So just have your NCERT with you. Do not read it as of now. I'll just sum things up and it will be definitely easy for you to read it again. So without going ahead, without wasting much of your time, let's go ahead. So I have written key points from RCH. What is RCH, madam? So basically, when we got independence, that is in the year 1947, after that, in the year 1951, government thought that we should be having family planning programs as well. Because if it just go abruptly, probably we would be having so much amount of population, we do not want that. So government thought that in the year 1951, please remember, okay, 1951, there should be some family planning program, and they later introduced reproductive and child health care program, which was in alignment to this only. What do you call this? Reproductive, that is basically the women and the men who are reproducing, and child health care program. So it's for babies as well, those who are born. So reproductive and child health care programs were initiated, and that is what you mean by RCH. I hope now you understand. Will you remember reproductive and child health care? I broke it down. It's easy for you to remember, right? Now, going ahead, what was the purpose of this? What were they trying to do? These programs, what was the end result of this? They wanted to create awareness, and also provide facilities. What facilities you think of that? As of now, let's talk about awareness. What awareness? About what basically? About sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, that is, people should know that there are certain diseases which you can possibly have if you are active in sexual intercourse. If you are active in your reproductive phase, there are certain infections that could be transferred from one human being to the other human being. Now, if you know about that, probably you will try to tackle this problem as well, right? So that is one thing. Apart from that, the government also wanted to focus on hygienic sexual practices. So hygienic sexual practices, obviously, if there is no hygiene, then it will lead to infection again, and then infections have to be treated, and we do not know how grave these infections could get. So basically, there are 2 things: creating awareness about this and this. Now you tell me, is it age specific? Only age group of like 20 to 30 people, 30 age group should be knowing this? No. I think it's not age specific. Everyone should know regardless of their age, because everyone at one point of their life could be sexually active, which is why this is very much important for everyone. Now there are something that is age specific, that is, you should be knowing about the available birth control options. So there are different birth control options which you will be using if you are in the reproductive phase, okay, why do you need a birth control? Because obviously no one wants huge amount of population there. So that is one thing. You should be creating awareness that there are different birth control options. For example, usage of condoms is one such option, okay, which can control birth, right? So this is one thing. So creating awareness about all things so that people could use it and control the birth. Now next thing, if baby is born, then what and all you should be taking care of. That is what you mean by postnatal care. Okay, after the delivery is being done, there are certain things that should be taken care of. Why? If it is not taken care of, obviously this infant or the baby which is there, it will die. And who wants it? No one. So basically postnatal care awareness was also given. And apart from that, importance of breastfeeding. So people generally do not know much importance of breastfeeding, but we learn in human reproduction, right? Basically when a mother feeds their baby for the first time, the milk that they give is known as colostrum, which is rich in what, children? It is rich in immunoglobulin A, that is antibodies A, which the child's body itself cannot make as of now. So you're making the child immune to a lot of other infections which could come their way. As of now, if you're not making people aware about breastfeeding, will they feed their children properly? Obviously they will feed. If they are human beings with their human emotions, they will feed, but still you should be knowing what is it important and how important it is. Okay, so that is about creating awareness. There is one more thing, which is equal opportunities for male and female child. Now we live in a society where there is obviously discrimination between male and female child, which has been reduced to a certain level, but still it is not extinct, right? So basically there should be awareness being created about this thing as well. So all this awareness and everything comes under their mission. Okay, so reproductive and child health care programs aims to create awareness about all these things. Few of these things should be known to children, adolescents, basically who are getting into the reproductive phase, because they do not know about a lot of things. And also few of the things are limited to mothers. For example, postnatal care is limited to both mother and father and their families. Importance of breastfeeding is related to the mother. Okay, so all these things are very much important. Yes. Now, I told apart from creating awareness, they also focus on something that is providing facilities. What kind of facilities? Basically, infrastructural facilities, as in having a proper hospital. Yes. First thing, professional expertise, as in having a proper doctor, good doctors, right? You all are trying to become a doctor, a good doctor, right? So basically we need more doctors. So providing such facilities where you will be having doctors in rural areas as well, so that people over there who cannot travel long distances, who do not know anything about the world that is happening there, so they can avail this particular opportunity to see a doctor and get themselves cured if they have anything. Now, apart from that, material support. So there might be materials, for example, medicines, for example, band-aids, all these things also should be available. So all these things come under the mission of the program, that is RCH. I hope you understood this thing, and this same thing is given in your NCERT in a very distorted way, so I thought I'll just arrange it. Okay, going ahead, what do we have the next thing? Apart from all these things that we studied, there is also one thing that the government decided to do, that is have a ban on amniocentesis. Now, amniocentesis, what do you mean by that? First thing, I want you to remember the name. So we divide amniocentesis into amnio. Remember, around the baby there was a fluid which is known as what, children? Amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid, right? So the amnio term comes from the amniotic fluid, or basically amnion. Okay, another layer. Now amniocentesis is also there. Centesis. Just divide it and make this term. Now what do you mean by that, and why is it banned? Because people were misusing this particular procedure for finding the sex of the child. Now when they found out the child was a female child, they thought that the particular lady who is having this female child should have undergone abortion. Now in this way, obviously the female feticide that is written right over here was gradually increasing, and no one wanted that, because amniocentesis major purpose is not to find the sex of the child. It is not to find the sex of the child, but they have other functions. What are the other functions, you may ask? Basically to find if the child has some genetic disorder, and they could do probably something about it. Okay, they could give a chance for the parents whether they should be having this child or not. Okay, so what kind of genetic disorders, and basically how do they find out all this thing? So I'll tell you. Baby skin, baby is made up of, baby will be having so many cells, right? Some of the cells, they shut down and they come in the amniotic fluid, and the doctors basically use the injection, take the amniotic fluid from the body over here, right, and then take the cells which are there and examine it. Now cells are obviously having chromosomes, they have the genes, they have the DNA and everything. When they come across, they check throughout the whole gene stuff. They come across if the child will be having some genetic disorder or not. Now by genetic disorders, obviously you should be having an idea of what kind of genetic disorders, right? So I have a few names over here. Hemophilia, what is given in your book and what is very much important. Now children, I'll tell you, this particular topic is star, star, star. It is very much important because the questions have come from this topic. Okay. Now what all genetic disorders can you find? Hemophilia. What happens in hemophilia? The blood clotting factors, it is not being produced, it is being, there is a problem while synthesis of these factors. Now when blood clotting factors are not there, the blood won't be clotting and the person who is having bleeding will keep on bleeding. Okay, that is about hemophilia, it's a genetic disorder. Coming again with sickle cell anemia, it is when there will be abnormal hemoglobin. Now when hemoglobin is abnormal, the RBC shape, the RBC, the cell that carries hemoglobin, its shape also changes to sickle. Sickle you might have seen, right, which is used for plowing things, stuff like that. So basically it changes into sickle shape, and this sickle shaped cell could again go make some blocks and create a lot of trouble in there. So that is sickle cell anemia, again a genetic disorder. Now comes Down syndrome, where the 21st chromosome, there is an extra 21st chromosome, which is why the whole genetic pattern gets disturbed and the child will be definitely having deformities as well. So these are the genetic disorders that are given in your textbook, in your NCERT textbook, but apart from it, there are other genetic disorders as well. For example, okay, there is Turner syndrome. There is Turner syndrome where there is a loss of one X chromosome from the female. So females usually have XX chromosome. Okay, I'll write it here. Female have XX chromosome and males have XY chromosome. So basically over here one X chromosome is not being there, which is why this particular disorder is being caused, which is known as Turner syndrome. Okay. Now apart from that, that is Klinefelter syndrome. What is it? Klinefelter's syndrome. Now children, please do not be astonished by the name. You will be studying it ahead when the genetic chapter comes. But as of now also, if you study, that's not a problem. So Klinefelter syndrome is when you have one extra X chromosome. So that is supposed to be a male, but that particular male will be having one extra X chromosome out there. Okay, that is what you mean by Klinefelter syndrome. Okay, so these are also genetic disorders which could be found out with the help of the amniotic fluid when you do amniocentesis. So why am I stressing on this thing? Because the questions have come that which all are the diseases that could be found out with the help of amniocentesis. Now as I said again, it just got, what did I do? Why did I do that? Okay, I'll just write it. Turner's syndrome. And what was the other name? Try to remember. It was Klinefelter's syndrome, right? Now children, okay, this was the amniotic fluid which was used for amniocentesis. Amniocent as in 100, you can remember like that, synthesis. Now I told it was used for what? Sex determination. How was sex determined using amniocentesis? Basically, you should be knowing that as well. I'll tell you. So what happens now? As I said, in females they have XX chromosome, and the males they have XY chromosome. So When it becomes a cell, obviously all of them will be having cells. Now inside the cell there will be nucleus, inside the nucleus there will be chromosome. What happens is that in the case of female, this particular X chromosome, one extra X chromosome becomes inactive, and they form a clumped structure. They form a clumped structure inside the nucleus, which you call as what? Bar body. Okay, so basically when amniocentesis is done, and if the child cell has a bar body, that means that is a female child. Okay, now what about males? They just have one X, so what to inactive? There is nothing to inactive there. Here they had two X, so that is why it was inactivated and made into form of bar body. Over here males do not have bar body, so you would not be finding no bar body. Ma'am, could this come? This has come previously. This has come previously, which is why I thought I'll teach you. There was a question on this which probably you could guess on the test day, we never know. But I have not included it now. As of now, I included this particular question. Let's see that, okay. So, I hope you understood the whole concept that I tried to put over here. Amniocentesis, again I am telling you, it's very 100% important, okay. You can mark it in your NCERT textbook as well. Going ahead with the question. Which of the following cannot be detected in developing fetus by the amniocentesis? The question is which you cannot detect, okay. So, birth disorders you cannot detect, something that you get by while birth. There might be some changes in the development and stuff like that, that has nothing to do with your genetics. Probably you won't be able to find it, okay. So, the question options are Down syndrome, that is trisomy of 21st chromosome is one more. So, obviously it's genetic disorder, it can be found out. Klinefelter's, again I said there is XXY chromosome, there is one more X which is Y, it is known as Klinefelter syndrome, again something that is genetic. Sex of the child is obviously genetic. So, something that is not genetic over here, it is jaundice. So, this is the option, this is the correct option, that something that cannot be detected by the developing fetus by amniocentesis is the jaundice, okay. I hope you understood that as well. And this is NEET 2013 question. Let's go ahead. Yes. Now, key points from the introduction. There is a point about Central Drug Research Institute. Okay, so you know that everyone coming under reproductive and child healthcare programs and lot of things, the government was all trying to find new birth control mechanisms and stuff like that. And basically during this particular whole thing happening there, the Central Drug Research Institute, which is there in Lucknow, India, please remember the names, okay. They came up with something that is known as Saheli, a contraceptive pill. What is it, children? It is a contraceptive pill, and in market it is also known as Centroman. What do you call it? Centroman. Okay. Now, Saheli, as I said, it is a contraceptive pill. I'll write it. And it is non-steroidal. Okay. It is non-steroidal. So, basically, I don't know why. Okay, non-steroidal, what do you mean by that? Basically, what do they do? Usually, we inject estrogen, or we give pills which has estrogen, progesterone, which could just mess up inside our body and do things. All this estrogen, progesterone, they are steroids. Okay, Saheli works on the principle of non-steroidal things. So, basically, what happens is that instead of giving hormones via the pills, while you give Saheli, it goes and modulates the estrogen receptors which is there in the uterus. Okay. So, you know there is uterus, right? We studied about that. Now, in the uterus there will be estrogen receptors, right? So, when we have this particular pill, it goes and modulates this particular receptors which are present. Modulates as in it can modulate in a negative manner and a positive manner. Over here it is modifying in a negative manner. Okay, so basically these things that you see over here, they are estrogen receptors. Now, when estrogen comes and tries to bind it with receptors, and obviously if it is getting modified because of these pills, can the estrogen actually come and bind? No. This particular story will be left incompleted, okay. The estrogen won't be able to come and bind, and estrogen, if it is not coming and binding, can the endometrium lining be there? Can the endometrium lining be formed? First thing, not be there, can it be formed? Without estrogen, I don't think the proliferation happens, right? Remember the proliferative phase where with the help of estrogen, the endometrium was proliferating. So as of now, if there is no receptors, if there are no receptors, estrogen will come and find that there are no receptors, could not bind on it, and if they are not binding on it, can the endometrium form? No, the endometrium is not formed. Now if endometrium is not formed, can the baby survive? Can the embryo come and get implanted in the endometrium? No, if the endometrium itself is not there, then obviously there won't be implantation also taking place, right? So that is the whole concept of Saheli, and it was given by Central Drug Research Institute, which is there in Lucknow, okay? And the actual name which you get to see around in the town, it is centchroman. Okay, it is what? Centchroman, the scientific term, and it is on the basis of non-steroidal things, non-steroidal hormones. It works on the concept of that which goes and messes around what? The estrogen receptors which are present. Okay, so that is what I have exactly written. Modulates the estrogen receptors, obviously in a negative way. Okay, and prevents the endometrium from being receptive to fertilized egg. So endometrium itself won't be able to form there. So obviously you cannot expect it to be receptive to a fertilized egg. So a fertilized egg cannot come and get embedded in there. I hope you got this as well. Okay. So that is about this. Going ahead, you might feel that I am a bit fast over here. Why? Because obviously there are portions in this chapter which will be giving you more marks. So yes, the contraceptive Saheli, now this came in the year 2018, right? Blocks estrogen receptors in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted. Second, increases the concentration of estrogen and prevents ovulation in females. It is an IUD, that is intrauterine device, you will get to know that. It is a post-coital contraceptive, as in after coitus, after sexual intercourse you have it. That is what you mean by that. Basically, the contraceptive Saheli, it blocks estrogen receptors in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted. This is the correct answer. Okay. So I hope you got this. And it is not post-coital, it is pre. Okay, before coitus you have this thing, so that not fertilization, even if it happens, does not get implanted. Okay, the embryo does not get implanted. So yes, that's about NEET 2018. Going ahead with the next concept that we have is population growth. So over here there was a trend in population that was observed. Do you need to remember the numbers? Basically it came in 1997. Now it might not come, but never know, we never know. So let's see. So around in the year, why does it all come together? Okay, anyways, this is world population and this is our India's population. Okay, now world population in the year 1900, it was 2 billion. Now in the year 2011 it rose to be 7.2 billion. So obviously a very big rise over there, right? Now in the year 1947 it was for India, okay, we are talking about India, it was 350 million. Now in the year 2011 May, okay, there was a census report that was been put. So according to that report, the population it crossed 1.2 billion. Okay, so to 7.2, 350 and 1.2. So it's like a rhyme. 2, 7.2, 350 and 1.2. 2, 7.2, 350 and 1.2. You can think like that. Okay, again this years are same, 2011 and 2011. This you can remember, India got independence in 1947. So during that point of time it was 350 million. Okay, and this is million, this is billion. Please remember that as well. Okay, and all the others are billion, just that this guy is million. Fine. Now just for you to have an idea of things, I put this slide over here, nothing else, as it came like in the year 1997. We never know what could be repeated again, so why to take that risk. Now population growth rate was 2% in 2011 census report. So it grew to 2%. That was a problem. Okay, that was a problem. Now when this happened, okay, this 2% you can remember, when this happened, the government was worried about what could happen if the population keeps on increasing like this, because they saw that the infant, because of the good works that was being done by the government, the infant mortality rate What do you mean by mortality, children? Death. Okay, the infant mortality rate and the maternal mortality rate. Maternal mortality rate both decreased. That means the death of mother as well as child seem to decrease because of the newer techniques, newer programs that was being recognized over there. So when all this thing was happening, obviously it was a very good thing to celebrate for, but apart from that, if you think, there is one more problem, the population, it was just booming. Now when the population booms up, obviously there is a problem because there will be a fight for resources. Right? At last, we all are animals. We all are animals. We need to remind ourselves that. So basically, at the end of the time, if the population is just flourishing, it will be a problem because resources are limited. Which is why the government thought that, okay, we should be doing something about it. So in the next slide, I will be talking about that. As of now, I just want you to have a quick, seeing of what is written over here. Please remember, population growth was 2% in 2011 census report. Okay, that also you have to remember. Going ahead, as I said, what did the government do? Let's see that. What were the steps taken by the government to tackle overpopulation? First thing, statutory raising of marriageable age to 17. That is for females and 21 for males. Obviously, before that, people used to have child marriage. Now, child marriage also, if you have, obviously, there are high chances that babies will be produced because people do not know about anything. Now, when you come across this particular age, at least you would be having some amount of sensibility to follow. So, obviously, this was a good thing that was done by the government. Okay. That is the raising of the marriageable age for 17 for females and 21 for males. Going ahead, what next thing? Incentives were given for smaller families. So people who had small families, they were given incentives. Okay, similar to this, just because I remember that. People who have girl childs, they were also given an incentive so that the people do not kill girl child just by thinking that it might be very difficult for giving them education, for getting them married off and things like that. So which is why the government thought that they should be probably making the education at least free. So if they had 3 girl child on a long run, so probably they were given these incentives as well. But that is not given in the NCERT, so don't need to remember that. Please remember, incentives were given to smaller families, which was a thing done by them. And apart from that, the major thing that was done was introduction of contraceptives. Now they told that there is high need for using contraceptives, and they give a variety of contraceptives which could be used for preventing pregnancy. Okay, so these were the things. What were those? These were the things done by the government for controlling overpopulation. Raising the marriageable age, incentives given to smaller families, and also use of contraceptives. And from this point onwards, we are going to talk about just contraceptives. So let's begin the battle. What are the features of an ideal contraceptive? So as I said, contraceptive is something that could prevent pregnancy. Okay, that could prevent pregnancy, but people obviously would be having sexual intercourse in their life. So to prevent the pregnancy that could happen following the sexual intercourse, there should be ideal contraceptive, and this, when we say ideal contraceptive, it does have certain features. Let's see what are those. First thing, these features you have to remember. If you are a person preparing for boards, it's very important for you. Okay, so it should be user friendly. It's not like something that you have to go to the hospital and then put it inside your body. It should be user friendly. You should be able to use it by your own self. First thing. Second thing, easy availability. It's not like you have to travel long distances to find things. For example, condom, it is easily available in all the medical shops, right? So easy availability should be there. Next, reversible effects. It should not be like a person, if they use a contraceptive and then they would not be able to reverse the effects. For example, at one point of time, a man or a woman, both of them, they want to get pregnant, they want to have a baby. Okay, but previously they did not want to have a baby, which is why they used a contraceptive, but now it is not reversible. It's a big problem for them. So obviously it should be reversible as well. Okay, next thing, no side effects. Obviously none of us want any side effect, right? Generally for anything that we use. So obviously for contraceptive also there should not be any side effects. Effectiveness. Now when a person is using contraceptive, they are in a belief that pregnancy would not be happening. Okay, so basically it should be 101% effective. It is not effective, that means the whole concept is for is just a lie, right? So obviously this should be the feature. Apart from that, there is one more: should not interfere with the sexual drive. It should not be interfering with the sexual drive of a person, which is why the condom and everything that is made, it is very thin, so that the sensation, the nervous sensation and everything is not blocked in the person who is using it, whether it's a female or a male. Yes, I said females also use condom. I'll tell about that because that's there in our NCERT. But as of now, you should be understanding that these things are made in a way that it's not affecting the sexual drive of a person. So these are the points. This is 1, user friendly; 2nd, availability; 3rd, reversibility; 4th, no side effects; 5th, effectiveness; and 6th, should not come in between the sexual drive. Okay, this is given right there in your NCERT. Let's read it once. Okay. An ideal contraceptive should be user-friendly, easily available, effective, reversible with no or least side effects. It should also not interfere with the sexual drive, desire or the sexual act of the user. A wide range of contraceptives are presently available, which could be broadly grouped under following categories. Let's see the categories. Okay. So first one is natural or traditional. Natural or traditional, we are going to study about each of them separately. Okay. Then comes barrier method, then comes IUDs, that is intrauterine devices. Then it is oral contraceptives, injectables, implants and surgical methods. So almost I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Injectables and implants, I can count it together. Okay. Going ahead, let's start off with natural method. So for every method, you should be knowing the principle. Okay, on what principle does it work? Natural methods. The principle of this is to avoid the chances of meeting of sperm and the ovum. So first thing, it's not like ovum and the sperm are being released, nothing like that. We have to avoid the chances of the sperm and the ovum meeting. So what are the steps that could be taken, and which is something that is natural? Okay, something that is natural. We do not have to have an injection or have a pill, nothing like that. So first thing that comes here is periodic abstinence. What do you mean by periodic abstinence? That means a person refrains to have sexual intercourse during the fertile period. So there is a fertile period. Remember, you have menstrual phase, proliferative phase and luteal phase. So this is menstrual phase, this is proliferative phase and this is what? Luteal phase. Now, by the end of proliferative phase, you will be having ovulation, which is almost around the 14th day. So better, you should not be having intercourse during the 14th day and also days nearby it. So almost from here to here, avoid having sexual intercourse. This is what you mean by periodic abstinence. For a period of time, you are absent. You just remember like that. Okay. For a period of time, you are absent. Sexual intercourse is absent. So after this, you have this much time, you have this much time to have sexual intercourse. But during this time, during the fertile window, a person is refraining from having sexual intercourse. I hope you got the idea of it. Okay. Because what if a person has sexual intercourse during this point of time? Obviously, the sperm and the egg could meet, may or may not meet, but mostly it could meet and have a fertilization to be done, and then obviously embryo will be formed and pregnancy will be happening. Okay. So better not to have sexual intercourse during fertile window, which is known as periodic abstinence. Now the next thing that we have is withdrawal or coitus interruptus. So withdrawal as in you are withdrawing something. What are you withdrawing? So basically, suppose this is the uterus and this particular thing that you see over here is the vagina. Over here, suppose this is the penis and a person withdraws the penis before insemination happens. Before the release of sperm, the person is withdrawing the penis from the female genital tract. This is known as withdrawal, and this is also known as coitus interruptus. Why it is known as coitus interruptus? Coitus means sexual intercourse and interruptus means as in you are interrupting something. So this is an interruption that is coming between the sexual intercourse, which is why it is known as coitus interruptus. So if you see this, are you seeing that we are actually avoiding the chances of meeting of sperm and ovum? There is no chance the sperm and the ovum are actually meeting, because over here also it is not done during the fertile window, so ovum obviously won't be there. The sperm could come in, but the ovum is not there. right? Over here also, the sperm did not even enter the female genital tract, which is why again they are not meeting. But is it safe? Is it safe? That is a question. Let's see, we'll come to that. Now comes lactational amenorrhea. What do you mean by lactational amenorrhea? That means when a person, for example, a woman gets pregnant, she has a baby, and the baby will be having lactation now, the mother will be having lactation now. At this point of time, because of high amounts of prolactin in her body, prolactin is a hormone which is released by the pituitary gland, right? So because of the high amount of prolactin in the body, the amount of GnRH, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone, will be less. If gonadotropin releasing hormone is less, then FSH and LH will be again less, and if FSH and LH are not there, do you think that ovulation and anything would happen? Obviously no. So during this particular point of time, that is during lactational period, we say it's almost up to 6 months. What do we say? It's almost up to 6 months that people can have safe sex. But again, there are high chances that this could vary. There are high chances that this could vary. People do get pregnant, okay, during this point of time as well, okay. So in all these methods, and over here, if you saw, there is usage of hormone, but this hormone has not been injected from an outside source. Our body itself is producing it, and that hormone is known as prolactin. So I can write it is hormone mediated. Why I am telling you? Because you have to remember it, questions have come. Okay, it is hormone mediated, and that means hormones are involved in this particular process. And as I said, it's a natural method. What are the pros and cons? Let's see that as well. Pros is that there are no side effects, obviously, because it's a natural method. The cons, chances of failure is high, obviously high. Obviously over here, there are certain times obviously the sperm could survive for up to 5 days, people say. That is written in the scientific wordings, right? So over there it can be staying up to 5 days, but it will be staying viable up to 72 hours or 48 hours. Basically, if it stays for some time, and then if the ovum is by chance there, then also things could happen. Over here also, people never know. Sperm could be released and person could be ovulating at this point of time. Then again, the same thing. Over here also, probably the person could be starting to ovulate, and that could fail. So all these procedures that you see is obviously does not have side effects. Please remember these keywords. These are very important, okay? They do not have side effects, but the chances of failures are equally high as well, okay? So that is about natural method. Here you are avoiding the chances of meeting of sperm and ovum. Let's read it and then we'll go ahead, okay? Natural methods work on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperm meeting. Periodic abstinence is one such method in which the couples avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to day 17. Okay, why day 10 to day 17? Because I said 14 is the day for what? The ovulation to happen. So at least few days if you keep, okay, so there are lesser chances for you to get pregnant. So it is 10 to 17 that should be avoided, okay? Going ahead, okay. Okay, as chances of fertilization are very high during this period, it is called as fertile period. I spoke that. And then therefore, by abstaining from coitus, that is from not doing coitus during this period, conception could be prevented, obviously. Withdrawal or coitus interruptus is another method in which the male partner withdraws his penis from the vagina just before ejaculation. Ejaculation as in the release of the sperm, okay? Where is it? So, to avoid insemination, so that the sperm does not get into what? The female genital tract. Lactational amenorrhea, that is absence of menstruation. Amenorrhea means absence of menstruation, not lactation, okay? Lactational means obviously you know lactation. So over here, amenorrhea means absence of menstruation, because during lactation period, as I said, menstruation won't be happening because prolactin is being produced. Is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore the cycle do not occur during the period of intense lactation following parturition, following the childbirth. Therefore, as long as the mother breastfeeds the child fully, chances of conception are almost nil. Almost is there, it is not completely sure. However, this method had been reported to be effective only up to maximum period of 6 months following parturition. So it is just up to 6 months, but people believe that it can go up to 1 year, things like that, but it's not something that works like that. As no medicines or devices are used in this method, side effects are almost nil. Chances of failure though are very high. as I said. Okay, so basically I hope that this is crystal clear to you. I gave my best to make you understand this thing. Over here, please remember, lactational amenorrhea, prolactin is being produced, so obviously it comes under hormonal control, but our body itself is producing it. Okay, going ahead, children, what do we have? Barrier method. So again, ovum and sperm are prevented from physically meeting. So this time also they are prevented from physically meeting. Let's see what are the different types. Condoms. First thing that we have is condoms, and now let me tell you, condoms, there are condoms for male, there are condoms for female as well, and it is made up of latex, okay, or plastic, such that it does not come in between the sexual drive of the male or the female. Okay, so that the sensation that are there in the foreskin and everything, it still remains active in all sense, and it does not affect any of this thing, because if that is getting affected, the reproduction won't be happening later on as well. Okay, or the sexual drive won't be happening. So that is kind of very important. So that is about condoms. Now apart from that, okay, also one very important thing about condoms is that it is protecting the user from STIs and AIDS. What is STI? That is sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, STI. How is condom protecting the user from STI or AIDS? AIDS is also sexually transmitted. Okay, how it is protecting? So basically what happens, just imagine that again, okay, so you have the uterus over here, just imagine, and this is the vaginal space. Now this is the cervix that you have, and over here just suppose that the penis is being inserted, yeah, and the penis obviously has the covering of what, children? It has the covering of the condom. So all the sexual fluid that is being there, it will be staying inside this particular condom itself. It won't be moving out of the condom. Now if it is not moving out of the condom, will the person have any kind of infections? Obviously no, because the whole thing is being covered. So the fluids, okay, the body fluids, so STIs is getting transferred with the help of body fluids. So obviously because condom is there, it will be preventing what? I'll write it in white so that it will be visible to you. Prevents transfer of body fluids. Now there is female condom as well. You know the male condom, you might have seen. If you have not seen, I will be showing you over here. It's there in your NCERT textbook as well. I will be showing you slowly, okay. Now apart from condoms, which is made up of latex or plastic, there is something else also that is known as diaphragm. There is something else which is known as cervical cap. There is something else which is known as vault. So all of them, diaphragm, cervical cap, vaults, these are used for women, okay, and it will be covering the cervix, and it is made up of rubber, and obviously you know rubber will be obviously thicker than the latex that you saw over here. So this thing that you see is thin, but over here this particular thing that is made up of rubber, it will be thicker and it will be acting like a cup. It will be acting like a cup that will be put on the cervix so that nothing could be getting inside, so that the sperm could not be getting inside the female body. Now over here I want you to understand this particular thing. Since I am talking about vaults as well as cervical caps and diaphragm, let's try to understand by making it once. Okay, so just suppose here you have the cervix, okay, and this is the diaphragm that I am going to make over here. The diaphragm is like a cup, which could be just inserted here. So it get inserted here, okay, it covers this particular area. Now you think the sperm, obviously if for example there is penis and the sperms are released, the sperms would not be able to get inside. Obviously obviously, right? Now, one thing that I want you to know, at this point of time when you're using diaphragm, cervical caps and walls, there are high chances for STIs to get transferred. Why? Because here the penis is there, which could release its fluid, that is semen. Now this semen could be over here, and what is this particular space? This is our vagina or the birth canal. So basically over here, this particular area that you see could have what? The pathogens or whatever could cause the diseases, infections, whatever you have. So can this protect you from STIs? No. These things that you see, they cannot protect from STIs. I hope it is very much clear to you. Okay, whereas condoms does, they do not. Now there is something over here. So yeah, one more thing that is about diaphragm, cervical caps and walls is that, okay, this thing that I have written here, I have to change. I'll write it down. Does not protect from STIs. Does not. Please remember, this does not, it does. Okay, it does protect. The condoms definitely they protect because the seminal fluid is being just contained there. Over here it's not the case. Okay, the seminal fluid could be anywhere in the genital tract. Okay, so the good thing about diaphragm, cervical caps and vault is that it is user friendly and it is reusable. You can wash it and you can use it again. Condoms are also user friendly. Okay, they are also user friendly, but you cannot reuse it again. So that is one thing. These set of things that you see, they are usable, and condoms, they are not reusable. Okay, but they are user friendly for sure. Let's just summarize things. Barrier methods. Okay, mostly people have condoms. Now condom is two type, male and for female, both of them they have it, and it is made up of latex or plastic, which is very thin. Now condom, since it is covering the whole genital organ, that is male genital organ and the female genital organ as well, in this way it will be protecting the human body from contracting STIs, that is sexually transmitted infections, and AIDS as well. Okay. On the other hand, when you talk about diaphragm, cervical caps and balls, all of them, they are used to cover the cervical region, but the other regions are still intact, they are left, which is why it does not protect from STIs. But then again, it is made up of rubber and it is thicker. It won't it will be acting as a contraceptive for sure. It won't be allowing things inside, and it is user friendly as well, and it is reusable as well. Over here, condoms are not reusable. Now let's see the picture of all of them. This thing that you see over here, this is the male condom. Yeah, and this thing that you see over here, this is the female condom. Now female condom, as you can see, here there is a ring, here also there is a ring. So this ring goes and attaches to the cervix. So the cervix region is there. This ring is being implanted over here, and then throughout the whole region it's there. There is no opening through which the penis can be inserted into the vagina. Okay, so your vagina in total is being covered from inside with the help of this particular sheath. I hope you got it. Now this is the picture that is given in your NCERT textbook. Please have a note of it. Okay, condom for male and condom for female. Going ahead, we have diaphragm, cervical cap and vault. All of them you can see. What are these? Are cup shaped things, they are ball shaped things, which can be just used to put it in here in the cervix, and it will be preventing the entry of sperm in there. Okay, so that is all about barrier methods. Going ahead, what do we have? Let's read it first and then we'll go ahead. Okay. Okay. In barrier methods, ovum and sperms are prevented from physically meeting with the help of barriers. Such methods are available for both males and females. Condoms are barriers made of thin rubber latex sheet. Okay, you can use rubber as well, but they should be very thin. Okay, latex sheet that are used to cover the penis in the male and the vagina and cervix in the female. okay, vagina and the cervix in the female. Obviously cervix is getting covered, I showed you, right? There is a ring at the top also, just before coitus, so that the ejaculated semen would not enter into the female reproductive tract. It has to be put before coitus, obviously. This can prevent conception. Nirodh is a popular brand of condom for the male. So this is a very old brand which is being used, and you have to remember the name. What is it? Nirodh. Okay, Nirodh as in you are opposing something. Okay, so what are you opposing? Basically you are opposing fertilization happening. You can remember like that. Use of condoms have increased in recent years due to additional benefit of protecting the user from contracting STIs and AIDS. As I said, both the male and the female condoms are disposable, can be self-inserted, and hence gives privacy to the users. That is a good thing. Disposable, you know, self-inserted, yeah, and then it gives privacy. Diaphragm, cervical caps and balls are also barriers made of rubber that are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during the coitus. They prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperm through the cervix. They are reusable. And yes, one more very important thing, spermicidal creams, jellies, foams are usually used along with these barriers to increase the contraceptive efficiency. So over here, spermicidal creams, jellies, all of them, spermicidal as in they are the creams used to kill the sperms. So suppose, basically, these spermicidal creams are being used such that, for example, sperm which has been released over here, it will be staying over here. Now when this cap is being removed, there are high chances it can still get in. So if you put the cream over here, obviously if you have amount of cream over here, it will be the sperms that are there will be killed. So to give 100% efficiency, what do we have? Spermicidal creams and jellies. Okay, I hope that is also clear. Going ahead, intrauterine devices. So this is the third one which we are going to cover. What is the principle? Phagocytosis of sperms and makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation. So that is a hatke, that is a different approach that we saw after a long time. So let's see what is it all about. Phagocytosis as in phagocytosis and taking something inside and killing it. That is what do you mean by phagocytosis? Okay, phagocytosis. So here the sperms are going to get killed. They are going to get eaten or engulfed. Okay, and also it makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation. So you know, after, okay, if there is uterus, I made 10,000 times, but yeah, if there is uterus, there are high chances that there is endometrium and the embryo could come and get implanted. So if the embryo itself is not getting implanted, do you think that it can form fetus or basically baby? No, it won't be able to do that. So basically you're making the uterus itself unsuitable for implantation, which is why it has the name intrauterine devices. These are things that are being put inside the uterus so that the lining of the uterus, they are not ready for implantation. Okay, and also the sperms that eventually gets in are also killed. So this is a very dark space for these sperms. Okay, so let's see, it's not devices, basically it's just things, the chemical releasing things. There are different categories. We'll be seeing it one by one. Non-medicated IUDs, as in it does not have anything. Okay, you can just think of there is something foreign that is being kept inside the female uterus. Now when something foreign comes inside the body, whether you are a male or a female, okay, when something foreign comes inside your body, what happens? Our body will be having so many soldiers that will be acting on this and killing this off. Okay, so basically just that thing exactly happens over here. In non-medicated IUDs, the example is lipase loop. I hope I am not messing up with the, just a second, okay, I don't want to mess up with the spelling over here, which is my usual thing. Just give me a second. Where is it? It is double P, I remember. Yeah, it is double P. Okay. Children, what kind of teacher is this? She is not even remembering the name. Obviously, we are also human beings. Now it has went that side. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. This is lipase loop. Okay, that is just something that is foreign. It's made up of plastic. It is put inside the uterus, but obviously it should not harm our body, right? So it is just put inside our uterus. Now, when it is put inside our uterus will be fighting against this. Okay, there will be so many soldiers, that basically white blood cells, that will be acting on it. And also one more thing happens, the endometrial lining, it gets inflamed. Okay, there will be inflammation in the endometrial lining because of all these things happening. Now, when inflammation is happening, obviously what will happen, the WBCs will be produced in more amount. When WBCs are produced in more amount, obviously the sperms and everything that is there, it will be killed. Okay, so there is no chance. And also and as well as I said, inflammation is there. Inflammation of endometrium is also there, which is why implantation does not happen. Okay, it is not in the correct state to get implanted. So example is what? Lipase loop. There is nothing being released, no hormones, nothing being released because of lipase loop. Is just a foreign thing that enters, that is being put in the female body. Now we go to the next thing, that is non-hormonal IUDs. For example, over here also there are no hormones being released, but still there could be some other chemicals. For example, I can say that they are copper releasing IUDs. Okay, and copper, if you know, the sperms hate copper. Why? The sperms hate copper because copper reduces sperm motility. Okay, that means the sperm won't be able to move. Just imagine that someone has hold the sperm from the back, that is Cu. Okay, that is the copper. So it reduces the sperm motility. Apart from that, the plasma membrane of the sperm, it is totally somehow being damaged with the help of the Cu. Cu damages the plasma membrane of the sperm. And if you remember, I have taught in reproduction chapter, there is something that is known as capacitation. Capacitation, that means you bring out certain changes in the sperm's body so that it can easily go and fertilize the egg. So that capacitation is also being hindered because of the Cu. Now, these are copper releasing IUDs. If you are asking me the example for those things, I can give you easy examples with a way to remember it. So, there is the first example is copper T. You call it CUT, okay, copper T. Why it is known as copper T? Because it is T-shaped thing. So there will be something on which a copper wire will be put down, which could slowly release out the copper things, okay. So this is in the form of T, which is why it is known as copper T. Next thing, there is Cu7. Now this is in the shape of 7, which is why it is known as copper Cu7. Then comes multi-load 375. How many days are there? How many days are there in a year? 365, right? Just add 10 more. 375 is there now. This is because it is multi-load, right? Now 375, why? What is the actual case? Why it is named as 375? Because 375 mm of copper is being used over here. Okay, so that is why it is known as 375. What are the names, children? CUT, okay, copper T, Cu7, and multi-load 375, which has 375 mm of copper. Okay, so these are copper releasing IUDs. As I said again, there are no hormones being released here and here right now. Now comes the chance for hormones. Hormone releasing IUDs are also there. Example is Progestasert, yes, Progestasert is there. And then one more thing was there. What was it? How will I forget? How do I forget? Progestasert, and I forgot. I'll tell you. It's there in our NCERT. It starts with LNG20. It is what? LNG20. So I'll just write it over here. There is LNG20. Now basically Progestasert is the synthetic form of progesterone. You know progesterone, right? The one that maintains the endometrial lining and everything, right? So that is different. This is different. This is a synthetic form of progesterone itself. Now this is hormone releasing IUDs. something that we are providing, some devices that we are putting inside our body which could release the hormones. So our body is not naturally producing hormone over here. Okay, now these Progestasert and LNG, what do they actually do? So you saw how they were doing their action, right? Over here, these are the ones that makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation. So with what I have read and with what I have come across, progesterone is the one that usually gives rise to thickened endometrium lining, but Progestasert in some of the other ways is the one that makes the endometrium lining thinned. Now when it is thin, not thin, okay. Now when it is thin, can it undergo implantation? Obviously it cannot. Implantation would not be happening. Now apart from that, there is one very important thing that I can tell you for sure, that is, if this is the uterus again and this is the cervix, the Progestasert that is present over here, it makes a cervical plug. It thickens the cervical mucus over here, cervical plug made by mucus, such that the sperm basically cannot enter the female genital tract. Okay, so that is one big use of this. So cervical plug or cervical mucus is being thickened over there, and apart from that, as I said, uterus is made unsuitable. Uterus is made unsuitable for implantation. Okay. Now let's revise. First thing, intrauterine devices are something that is there inside the uterus and it works on the principle of phagocytosis of sperm. All this process, wherever you saw, basically if the sperm tries to enter, the sperm will be killed for sure, all of them, regardless of what they are working on the basis of. So phagocytosis of sperm happens and it also makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation. When you talk about intrauterine devices, there are three types. One is non-medicated IUDs, second is non-hormonal IUDs, and the third one is hormone releasing IUDs. Non-medicated as in it does not have any medicinal aspect to it. Okay, for example, lipase loop is an example, is just a foreign particle that is being inserted in the female body. Now since it is foreign, our immune system becomes active. Yeah, there will be inflammation in the endometrium, which is why more immune cells will be active. Now these cells will be killing these sperms that could try to enter our body. Okay, now this is implanted, that is, it is already there, put in our body, so obviously its effect will be for a long period. Now if you talk about non-hormonal, as of here, there wouldn't be any hormone that would be released. Okay, example is copper releasing IUDs. Yeah, what are the names? CUT, that is copper T, it's in T shape, CU7, again 7 shade, and then multi-load 375, which has 375 mm of copper. What does the copper do? Copper holds the sperm's tail and says you cannot move. So it messes up with the sperm motility, and also one more thing, basically damages this plasma membrane and everything, such that the sperm totally it is not very much capable of fertilizing. So obviously fertilization won't be taking place for sure. Now hormone releasing IUDs, over here example is Progestasert and LNG. You know PNG, CNG, right? CNG gas we use, right? Similarly you can write, you can remember LNG 20. Okay, LNG 20 is basically, remember, you got into an auto and 20 rupees you have to give that person. So LNG 20 is just like that, somehow you remember it. Okay, and now what is the use of this thing? Basically it is making the uterus unsuitable for implantation. How? By thinning the endometrium, that is there, but that is something extra. I don't want you to remember that, but if you could remember this thing, that is, it makes the cervical mucus thick, so that forms a plug over here and the sperm could not transfer inside. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you. Now let's read this, and one very important thing. Okay, 10,000 I could say that is important. This is awarded as the most effective IUD. Okay, it is the most effective IUD right over there, and it is the ideal, it is considered to be the ideal contraceptive, because after years, when you remove this thing, again it becomes back to normal. There is no side effects and nothing like that, so it is considered to be ideal contraceptive. Apart of whatever we are going to learn, this is going to be the most effective. Please remember that it has come in the question paper. Okay, and this is the ideal contraceptive. Going ahead, what do we have? We have other intrauterine devices. We'll just read it once. So over here, another effective and popular method is the use of intrauterine devices, which we just spoke about. These devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the vagina. These intrauterine devices are presently available as non-medicated IUDs, that is lipase loop, copper-releasing IUDs, that is CU7, CUT, CU7 and multi-load, and the hormone-releasing IUDs, that is Progestasert, okay, LNG20. IUDs increase phagocytosis, that is killing of the sperms, within the uterus, and CUINs suppress sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of the sperms, as I told you. The hormone releasing IUDs in addition make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to the sperms, okay, for sure. IUDs are ideal contraceptives, I told you, for the females who want to delay pregnancy or want to space children. So after one child is being born, then you can put the IUD. After 5 years, probably after its effect is over, or when you want to remove it, you can remove it, but it is reversible, okay, it is not a problem. It is one of the most widely accepted methods of the contraception in our country, that is in India. Going ahead, let's solve one question. Select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices, you tell me. So lipase loop, multi-load 375 is there. Balls, okay, let's solve it. Lipase loop is non-medicated, does not release hormone. Multi-load is copper releasing, again it does not release hormone, so this is wrong. Waltz comes under barrier method, it does not have anything to do with hormone, it goes. LNG is something that releases hormone, but Waltz is there, so again this goes wrong. Next thing, multi-load 375 and Progestasert. Multi-load 375 is basically again what? Copper releasing. Progestasert is something that releases what? Hormone. This is wrong. This is the correct one. This came in NEET 2019. Yeah. Going ahead. Oral pills. So how do they work? They inhibit ovulation. This is very important. Now, whenever you see this term, that is oral pills, and whenever the progesterone and everything comes in, it will come in, okay? Just remember, until now you have spoke about different use of progesterone, right? But if ovulation is being mentioned, please just go and choose that option. That they are the ones that inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as alter the quality of cervical mucus to retard the entry of sperm. So as I said, we learned about Progestasert. Same thing, it is a synthetic form, this is the natural form. Progesterone, which is being used, progesterone basically, as I said, it thickens the cervical mucus so that the sperm cannot enter. Okay, and also when babies are being maintained over there, it is being so that nothing goes down and gets in, something gets in. Yeah, so basically the major function of this is to inhibit ovulation. Clear? That is one thing. Okay, you cannot have ovulation happen. The sperm could enter, but ovulation did not happen. And also ovulation, apart from inhibiting ovulation, it should be also inhibiting implantation. So the embryo should not get implanted in the endometrium. So ovulation and implantation you have to remember. How can you remember? O for ovulation you can remember, and I for implantation you can remember. Both of them are being restricted because of oral pills. As well as what you are doing, cervical mucus also is being, the quality of it is also being changed. Now what is the use of it? It is very effective and it has lesser side effects, though I do not think it has lesser side effects, but yes, it is what it is written in your NCERT. Listen, so let's just follow that. As of now, my tongue is getting twisted because I am just repeatedly saying without a break. So please forgive me for that. Yes, so it is effective and it has lesser side effects according to NCERT. Let's see what are the different oral pills. So oral pills can be rich in progestogens, or it can be a combination of progesterone and estrogen combination, either one of them. Okay, so basically when they combine, so this basically progesterone, it is the one that causes the cervical mucus, thickens because of this thing, and also it won't be allowing ovulation to happen when it comes in combination with estrogen. So we generally prefer this thing. This is comparatively more correct way of saying things. So basically when both of them they come together, they give a negative feedback to what? GnRH, remember? Now GnRH is less, FSH and LH will also be less. If FSH and LH is less, ovulation won't be happening. Okay, so basically this is how the combination of the oral pills will be working ahead with this. And when should a person take oral pill? When should a person take oral pill? Every single day. Every single day a person will be taking oral pill. But obviously you want menstruation to happen, right? So what do? You miss it. For example, there is 1 to 5 days of menstruation, and during this point of time you would not be having the oral pills. Again you will be starting the oral pills from the 6th day. It will go. Again you will give a break so that the menstruation could happen again. Just give some time. So over here in your NCERT there are certain things being written. Let's read that first. Okay. Oral administration of small doses of either progestogens or progestogen-estrogen combinations is another contraceptive method used by the females. They are used in the form of tablets, yes, and hence are popularly known as what? Pills. Pills have to be taken daily, as I said, for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. Okay, so after the menstrual cycle, the menstruation happens, after that you begin it and then you stop it again so that the menstruation could happen. After a gap of 7 days, as I said, okay, it has to be repeated in the same pattern till the female desires to prevent conception. So again it has to be done. They inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent or retard the entry of sperm. Pills are very effective with lesser side effects and are well accepted by the females. But as I said, it does have side effects because obviously there are hormones, steroidal hormones, so it will definitely have side effects. Now there is something extra being given over here. First thing that you have to remember here, they have to be taken for a period of 21 days. So just exclude the 1 to 5 days or 1 to 7 days out there, and then the 21 days, all the days you have to take the pill, or ovulation would happen. So do not want the ovulation to happen, right? Ovulation should not be happening. Now, yes. Saheli, the new oral contraceptive for the females, contain a non-steroidal preparation. So as I told you, it is known as centromin, right? And here non-steroidal preparation, as in what? Basically hormones are not being put in there. Instead, Saheli is a contraceptive pill which modulates the estrogen receptors. Now if estrogen receptors are not there to receive the estrogen, so estrogen, basically the endometrium lining won't be formed, right, and implantation won't be happening. So this is a once a week pill, so you do not need to have it daily. It's just once a week pill that makes it really different from all the other pills out there. So Saheli is once a week pill. Okay, others you know how they work. They have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days apart from the day of the actual menstruation. Going ahead, what is the work of progesterone which is present in oral contraceptive pills? Now this is the thing that I was saying. Whenever you say oral contraceptive pills and whenever progesterone is being asked, please do not go and talk about to check the entry of sperms into the cervix and to make them inactive. Yes, that is also one function, okay, to check the entry of sperm. It does not allow the entry of sperm, that is there, but obviously the more clearer option is this, to inhibit ovulation. Okay, when you're talking about oral contraceptive pills, you have to say it inhibits ovulation. That is the main thing that happens. It came in the year 2000. Okay. Going ahead, we have injection and implants, and then one more, and then after that we are completed. So how does it work? They inhibit ovulation and implantation just like that, just like how it was done in the oral contraceptive pills. And again, the implants and the injections can be given in a combination of progestogen and estrogen, or it can be just progestogen. How do they work? Basically, injections are being given. It can stay up to 3 months, the effect of it, and then after 3 months again you have to give the injection again. You have to take the injection again. And if you talk about implants, basically what happens, these implants will be having something that could release the hormones continuously, and this could go up to some years. Few years. But in the case of oral pills and them, how they are very much different, because the effect, if you see, it will be obviously longer for injection and implants in comparison with the pills. As I said, if you talk about injection, I'll just write it over here. If you talk about injection, after mostly, I'm telling, okay, there could be something that could have lesser tenure, but then yes, mostly after every 3 months you have to take the injection. If you talk about implants, it could go up to certain years, at least for a year for sure. Okay, depends on what type of hormones it is being releasing and stuff. Okay, so all of them, both of them, oral pills and them, they have the same principle, but obviously the method of taking is different. That is pills, this is injection, and implant. Implant is something that can stay under your skin and it keeps on releasing the hormones. Okay. So let's just read this one also. Progestogens alone or in combination with estrogen can be used by females as injections or implants under the skin. Yes, their mode of action is similar to that of pills and their effective periods are much longer. Administration of progestogens or progestogen-estrogen combination or IUDs within 72 hours of coitus have been found to be very effective as emergency contraceptives. So that is a whole different term. Until here we have done with implants and injection. Now there is something about emergency contraceptives. I want you to remember this very profoundly. Emergency contraceptives. So there is an unprotected sex that has been happening. At that point you need emergency contraceptives so that you could prevent going up till abortion and stuff like that, which could be really harmful for the baby as well as the mother. Apart from that, there could be cases where rapes could happen, which is obviously something that no one wants ever in their life. So obviously at this point of time, what are the emergency contraceptives that could be used? It is the pills that could be used. That is not the pills or anything in combination with progesterone and estrogen. Okay, so it can be pills, it can be injection, lot of things can be used, but again it should be having what? Progestogen and estrogen. Fine. Apart from that, IUDs can also come out to be effective. Why? How IUDs come out to be effective? Because you are making the uterus unsuitable for implantation. So at this point of time, obviously if ovulation, if fertilization has also taken place, implantation can be prevented with the help of IUDs and also pills. Okay, so these are emergency contraceptives and they work on the principle of hormones basically. Okay, both of them are hormones. Here also IUDs, for example, progestacert is again a hormone which could prevent the implantation. Okay, so this works on the basis of hormones mainly. Okay, going ahead with the last method that we have is the surgical method. So principle, it blocks gamete transport and thereby prevent conception. So over here again there is something new. Okay, so the gamete transport itself is getting blocked. So you know, in the case of females, there is what am I making? Children, remember. So this is the fallopian tube which carries the ovum from the ovary. Okay, this is the ovary, this is the fallopian tube, and it carries the ovum, right? Now if fallopian tube itself, if it is cut and made into two separate blocks, so basically this particular transport won't be happening. Now this particular process is known as tubectomy, where the fallopian tube has a cut, it is incised and it is folded upon such that if I make the after picture of this, it will look something like this, where it has a folding like this, and the other one will also have a folding like this. So this is the fallopian tube which will be over here, which will look like this. Okay, you have cut, now it is separate thing. So basically the ovum which is being transported cannot go ahead. This is what you mean by tubectomy. Okay, this is obviously done in what? Females, and as I said, in the fallopian tube. Now as you can imagine, the reversibility of this will be poor or it will be nil as well. So basically people opting for this, if they want to have baby later on, it would be really tough for them because it has very poor reversibility, though it has high effectiveness. So obviously if you're blocking the way of transport, then this cannot take place. So there is a car, they want to go to that particular place. If you're blocking this particular, there is no road here, can it go? No. It's as simple as that. Similarly, what do you mean by vasectomy? So you know there is testis and there is epididymis which carries the sperm, and after epididymis comes something which is known as what? Vas deferens, which carries the sperm everything to the seminal vesicle, and all of them they open into ejaculatory duct, and then it opens into urethra and everything that happens. So basically this thing that you see over here is vas deferens, and vas deferens is something that is being cut. Again, as I said over there, it has been incised, and over here it is made a block so that the sperm which are being made over here in the testis would not be able to get transported there. Okay, that is the basic logic of vasectomy. Vasectomy as in cutting the vas deferens and you're tying it and keeping it there. Okay, now over here one major thing that I want you to know is, okay, first thing, people who are undergoing tubectomy, will they have menstruation cycle? Will they menstruate? Yes, they will menstruate, because the ovary will be still releasing hormones which will be going around in and everywhere, and ovulation will be happening, but it won't be able to reach there. Menstruation will also be happening every month. Every month the uterus is going to be prepared for it. So menstruation definitely happens. Okay, you're just blocking the way of it, blocking the path, rest everything, hormones are still being produced. So obviously the endometrium will be still thickened and everything will be still happening. Okay, just that the fertilization does not happen. Usually just think that fertilization is not happening. At that point of time this ovum was also getting degenerated. That was the only thing, that is a difference. Still everything is being done just like how fertilization does not happen, right? So menstruation definitely happens. Now in the case of vasectomy, do these people, they are after undergoing vasectomy, can they ejaculate? Yes, they definitely ejaculate. They definitely have seminal plasma. So we know seminal plasma plus sperm is equals to semen, right? But here as the sperm is being blocked, in the seminal plasma there won't be, in the semen there won't be any sperm, it will be just seminal plasma. You can just call it seminal plasma, but people definitely call it semen, so let's call it semen now. So semen will be there without the sperm, it will be just seminal plasma over there. Okay, because seminal plasma and everything is being released by the glands which are being present over here, seminal vesicle, bulbourethral, prostate and everything. So they will still ejaculate, but the ejaculate won't be having sperms in there, which is why it is known as highly effective. So that is about tubectomy and that is about vasectomy, and that is highly effective with poor reversibility. Let's read it, and with this we might be ending our topic. Surgical methods, also known as sterilization. Yes, these methods are surgical as we are using surgery to cut this down and make it tie and all of these things. This is also known as sterilization. Ayyo, why it's not working? Okay. Sterilization. Okay. It is advised for male and female partner as a terminal method. Again, this is also very important. Terminal method as in you are left with no choice, you don't want to have babies now. Now this is the last method that you can opt for. This is the terminal method to prevent any more pregnancies. Surgical intervention blocks gamete transport and thereby prevent conception. Conception as in implantation and the baby formation. Okay. Surgical sterilization procedure in the male is known as vasectomy, and that in the female is known as tubectomy. In vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum. So on the scrotum there is an incision being made, there is an incision being made and then it is tied up on the scrotum. Okay, that is the vas deferens. Through a small incision on the scrotum. Yeah, sorry, I meant, wait, erase everything. Basically what happens, there will be an incision as in a space being made through which everything of these procedures are being done, and then it is tied up. That is what I meant. Okay. Now, whereas in tubectomy, a small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in the abdomen or through the vagina. So through the vagina it can be taken up, and also to the abdominal region also, if you make an incision, then also this surgical procedure can be done. These techniques are highly effective, but their reversibility is poor, as I told you earlier. So that's all. Now let's solve some PYQs. Which of the following is incorrect regarding vasectomy? Vasectomy, vas deferens. No sperm occurs in, it is incorrect, okay? As I said, underline, incorrect or correct, incorrect. So no sperm occurs in the seminal fluid. It is correct, right? There is no sperm. The vas difference is being hindered, right? No sperm occurs in epididymis. Vas differentia is cut and tied. Differentia, I know it is efferentia, vasa efferentia, that is something different. So this is wrong. This is also wrong. If irreversible sterility. It is reversible, but it is poorly reversible. It is not irreversible and sterile. So wait. Basically, this word sterility as in basically the person has become sterile. It is not fertile at all. No. It's not like that. This poor reversibility. Okay, so this is also wrong. Sorry. Wait. Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Just a second. Okay. Which one is incorrect regarding vasectomy? No sperm occurs in seminal fluid. It is correct statement. Okay. No sperm occurs in epididymis. It is incorrect statement. Why it is incorrect? You only think that is testis. Testis will be definitely forming sperm, and this sperm will be getting transported to epididymis as well. So there will be occurrence of sperm in the epididymis. So this is correct. So this particular thing they are asking according to what is incorrect regarding vasectomy. This is incorrect. There will be sperm in the epididymis. So this is incorrect. Vasa differentia is cut and tied. No, it is correct. Irreversible sterility, that is also correct. It is not incorrect. It is correct. It is correct. Okay. Please do not think like that. Sometimes my brain stops working. But yeah, this is the correct answer. It came in NEET 2016. Okay. Which of the following approaches does not give the defined action of contraceptives? Does not. Underline that. Okay. Hormonal contraceptives prevent retard entry of sperm, prevent ovulation and fertilization. Okay. Vasectomy prevents spermatogenesis. Barrier methods prevent fertilization. Obviously, okay. So hormonal contraceptives, you know that there is progesterone, estrogen things. They prevent ovulation, they prevent fertilization. This is correct. This is not incorrect. Okay. Barrier methods, it has to prevent fertilization because fertilization will only happen if the sperm could meet the ovum. So barrier methods means you are preventing the meeting, right? So this is also correct. Intrauterine devices increase phagocytosis of sperm, suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity. This is also correct. What you are left with? Vasectomy. It prevents spermatogenesis. Definitely sperms are being found, but it is not just transported. So this is wrong. This is the incorrect one. And I am so sorry regarding this one. Okay, I didn't mean so. So that's all. So these were the questions that we did. Which of the following cannot be detected in developing fetus by amniocentesis? It is jaundice because it is not a genetic disorder. The contraceptives are Haley. Basically, it blocks estrogen receptors in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted. This is the correct answer. Select the hormone releasing intrauterine device. You have multi-load, you have Progestasert and LNG20. Which of the following is incorrect regarding vasectomy? It is what? No sperm in the epididymis. Sperms are there in the epididymis. They will be definitely formed. They are just not transported. Over here, as I said, this is the right one. So there is one question for you as well, that is this. You can take a screenshot of this or probably just download the PDF, okay, which would be there in the WhatsApp channel, and try to solve it by yourself and put the answer in the comments. Also, if you want to give all such informations, you can definitely put down in the comment section. Now, I think that this particular video was really helpful for you because I gave my 101% for this particular video. I just non-stop, I was just talking and in between there could have been slip of tongue as well. So I'm really sorry for that. And I just wish you all the very best for your future. I hope that you are giving your best as well, just like how I am trying to give my best for you children. So do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you think that this particular video was helpful and if you want to get more information regarding NEET and other exams as well. Bye-bye. Take care.